Alright, here's another maintenance video for you. So, I just replaced the water pump in my truck for the second time, but luckily it was still covered under warranty. My truck's a 2005 GMC Sierra. It's got about 300,000 kilometers on it, and checking over the pulleys and tensioners on it. I put a new air conditioning belt on, or I'm going to put a new air conditioning belt on. The serpentine belt's still fine, but what I found was all the pulleys were, like when I spun them around, they were like really dry sounding, so there's all the grease and the bearings were gone, or there was very little put in when they were brand new. So what I did was pulled the pulleys all off, the air conditioning tensioner pulley and the idler pulley, and oh no, that was the main serpentine belt tensioner pulley, and then the idler pulley. So I bought all new ones and pretty much figured out that I didn't need to replace them. All I really needed to do was to get some more grease in them. There wasn't very much play in them, but they just sounded really dry when I spun them around. So I took them off and popped the little seals off the bearings and cleaned everything up first, and then popped those seals off, and then just repacked the bearings with just some wheel and bearing grease. You just kind of knead it in there with your fingers, and then all I need to do is press those seals back in, and I'll be good to go. And they spin around a lot better now. Like I said, truck's got 300,000 kilometers. I thought it would have needed all new pulleys and tensioners, but everything's still fine. Just the bearings were a little bit dry. They weren't all burned up yet, so I just put some grease in them and saved myself about 100 doll hairs in US funds, which is about, I don't know, probably 25,000 Canadian with the exchange rate now. But anyways, just a little tip for you guys: if you want to save a little bit of money and keep your truck maintained as cheaply as you can without spending money unnecessarily. But if you want to spend the money, go ahead. So what I did here to get this bolt off the back of the idler pulley is just pry back on these little metal tabs a bit, and then it's hard to show you holding the phone at the same time, but I just held that bolt and then spun that little locking washer around just to get it off the threads and to expose the bearing. One more thing here, just thought I'd show you what I use to pry those little seals out of the bearings. It's just a little hobby screwdriver there, just a little flathead, and you just kind of carefully get in there and just pop it up. They all come out pretty easily.